about the presidential campaign, and I said, no, I'm through with politics. I want nothing to do with that. So I walked away. It's a big regret in one way, because Bob Kennedy changed as a human being dramatically during that period after I knew him, because as a campaigner, national campaigner, he went into the South, he went into West Virginia, he went into Appalachia, he saw children without shoes sleeping on floors, dirt floors. He never saw any of this before. And all accounts of people around him whom I know and trust, he said, this guy was a different person than the one you knew, Bill. And I didn't know him at the end, and I regret that. But at the time, it seemed like the right thing to do. We make decisions, and that seemed like the right one to take. So I said, no, out of politics, I'll go and do some work in education, I'll get a doctorate in education, maybe found some experimental schools, do something like that, which is what I went about doing. And then 9 years later, in 1977, Ralph Abernathy called me, and he said, look, I'd like you to go with me up to the prison and arrange for you and me to go to the prison, and I want you to interrogate James Earl Ray in front of me about every aspect of this case. And I said, Ralph, what are you talking about? I mean, you think they've got the wrong guy all these years? I didn't know anything about it. I just assumed they had the right guy. And that he was guilty of the crime, because he had copped a plea after all. So Ralph said, no, I don't really know, but I'd like you to. I said, Ralph, I don't know anything about the case. So I could take several months and read, and trying to earn a living, read about all of this stuff. And finally in 1978, in August of 1978, I went to the prison and put James Earl Ray through living hell. I put him under such stress that you can't believe. Questions and badgered. And he sat there and he was calm and he just answered everything as best as he could. And it didn't seem, I had a body language expert, a psychiatrist from Massachusetts, come and sit in the corner and just watch him. I said, tell me about this guy when he speaks, and give me some indication. And we all left that room after 5 hours, totally of the mind that James Earl Ray did not kill Martin Luther King Jr. Now, we didn't know what role he might have played in the assassination, but we believed he didn't kill Martin. There are too many factors, I don't need to go into them, but over that 5 hours in terms of his knowledge of weapons, his use of guns, all that sort of thing. And he just didn't do it. We knew that, but we didn't know whether he was complicit. But he raised enough questions in everybody's mind so that I started down this slippery slope in 1978 and going into Memphis, hanging out on the streets of South Memphis, looking for people who had never been talked to by this House Select Committee, hoping that the House Select Committee, the Congressional Investigation, was going to reveal the truth, because they were conducting a multi-million-dollar budget. They were all over the place, and both the king and the